we're here at the Norfolk showground at the British Carp Angling Show. I'm with Nick Burrage, yep, not the posh way, yeah. And I'm Scott, obviously.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah. So we're just on the Nash stand, and we're just going to go through a few things that you can expect to see if you come in tomorrow or any other Nash show. I guess it's all the same. So what are you going through, Nick, here?
Basically, fishing in Shropshire, I fish the old silty meres, and I've been going through my tactics, rigs and whatnot, and like leads, how to use different leads in silt to your advantage. I can do a bit of that for you now, show you. Basically, I've been explaining about, I do like a flat pair lead swivel, because I like it on a clip, to get a bit of a bolt effect out the silt. Right. But if you use a 2-ounce flat pair, and you're not quite getting the plug, if you swap over to a 2-ounce normal pair, it goes into the silt a bit more, and it'll give you an extra plug for the same weight.
So is there any, so you were saying there's two different shapes to use.
We have absolutely tons of different shapes. I've got a few here. Distance pair, flat pairs, tractor lead. A lot of people use the tractor leads on the rivers, to be honest. Right. But a little trick I've been messing around with over the last couple of months is squeezing paste around it and dipping it and casting it into the silt or chod. And instead of having like a traction what fish can see, it's seeping up out the silt. And especially if you put a little bit of, dip it in some oil, because the one, is it the food dip's water-based and the boilie dip is oil-based. So if you dip in the water first, then the oil, you cast it, because you're not bulking the shape out, you're squeezing it in. And when you cast into the silt or the leaves, it goes in and the oil will lift it up out the silt. So you've got nothing on show by your single up bait. So
what I'd say is that to me sounds a good winter tactic or going into spring, because you don't want to put too much bait in, obviously.
Oh, no.
So using something like that, put some paste in around, it'll lose up from under the silt. Is that what you're saying?
That's right, yeah.
So if you're going out in the next few weeks and it's still a bit nippy outside, you probably want to take Nick's advice there and maybe get one of these leads. What are they called?
It's a tractor lead, that one is.
Right. So
sorry, man. And yeah, because of the shape of it, it's got the little nipples, if you like, all around it, and the hole through the middle. So you can keep the lead shape. It's not as if you're casting a big ball in, which is going to change how it's actually plugging into the silt, keeping the shape, and you're basically going to be a massive advantage, because you're going to get loads of attraction with all you're going to have sat there is just a single hook bait.
Right. Let's go on to the other kind of lakes that people would fish, like the gravel pits.
Yeah.
So what advice can you give to people like this time of year? What would you say is good to use?
This time of year, rig-wise, to be honest, this time of year it's more important to be finding the fish more so than my bit of advice is a lot of people get so confused about rigs. I'd stick with what you're catching on and the method you're catching on. A lot of people say, oh, the bites are stopped, let's swap this, that and the other, and then they get all confused and lose all their confidence. If you stick with what you've been catching and getting bites, landing fish on, right? But if it's finding the fish this time of year, if you can get, I don't know, you want to be like nice soft silt patches, dead weed beds, fish love to sit in those when the water gets cold, deep lakes, fish off the side of slopes, so the further you cast out, the deeper you get, and you can find the depth of where the fish are.
Right, you've got a few little nifty little pop-ups going on, little snowman rigs or something here. Have you just been showing the people what to use, or giving them some advice? What have you got? Yeah, right,
I've got two here. Well, we've basically, you'd look at those and say, well, they're both exactly the same rigs. Nice little blowback rig, Fang X hook, you know, just your basic bog standard snowman rigs. But the difference is I use a braided rig, and whatever depth that goes into the silt, you're going to get good presentation with it sitting down. But the difference with these two That one acts as a wafter,
Right.
slow sinker.
Right.
That one is 2 bottom baits.
Right.
Right. So the difference with that is the this time of year with the fish feeding a lot slower and moving a lot slower. You know, if they swim up to a bait and they look at it and they want to eat it, they really want to eat it. They're not going to swim off at this time of year and say, oh, there's one over there 10 foot away, I'll have that instead. You know, so a lot of people worry, oh, they suck difference and all that. It's not the case, I don't think. They see a bait. If it was the weight of a stone, I'm sure they'd still pick it up. But the good thing with this, if I just explain one little thing, I keep the hook points free. So the shrink tubing doesn't come past the hook points.
Right, I get you. Okay.
Right?
So so it's in a, if you look at it in a straight line,
Yeah.
it's not going past the point of the hook.
That's right, yeah. So the trick is with that, is the lumps and bumps inside the fish's mouth, it's got a chance of hooking up on the, because you're using a heavy bait, sinking to the bottom of the fish's mouth, so it's giving you all the chances of hooking on the bottom of the mouth, and because you've got a little bit of tube in there, you're actually going to get it flipping over as it exits as well, so you're almost doubling your chances of a hook up on the same rig.
So let's just go through the components of this this little rig. It's a basic knotless knot rig, and you've just got a little ring swivel just on the top there.
Yeah, well, little ring, 2mm Nash ring. The hook length material is a completely stripped back missing link, because I don't think there's a better braid on the market, to be honest. It's so supple. It's absolutely fantastic.
It's a good colour as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, to be honest, we do it in green, obviously weed green, gravel brown, and silt, which is like a dark brown come black. And yeah, so with whatever lake bottom you're fishing over, you can find something that's going to match. But as we go on, that's attached. Well, my hair length for a snowman, a 15mm bait and a 10mm pop-up, or a bottom bait in this case. From the end of the loop to the ring, it's 1 1/8 inches. And you know, if you tied as many rigs as I tie, you'd sorry, there's people walking past. If you tie as many rigs as I tie, you get used to what length and what, you know, even how much. Yeah, it's coming.
You all right, sorry? Yeah, you're keeping up. Yeah, we're all right.
And yeah, a Fang X hook, fantastic hook.
Yeah.
When did you learn to put hooks on?
Somebody tied it for me. Yeah, and yeah, completely stripped back. The end, very important knot, those figure of 8 knots. A lot of people will tie an overhand loop and think it's okay. A figure of 8 knot is needed, definitely. And to be honest, that simple rig, it's caught me no end of fish this season. And a tiny little bit of Klingon putty in the middle to help it sit down. So, like I say, whatever depth your lead goes into the silt,
It's going to sit on top.
it's going to go down. You know, even if it goes in 4 or 5 inches, there's always going to be that free movement for the carp to get it into its mouth. So, yeah.
There you go. There's some top tips from Nick Burrage. He's here tomorrow as well. So, are you here tomorrow as well?
I am, yes.
Yeah. I guess you were. So he's here tomorrow. If you want to pick up a few tips about fishing at this time of year and what you're fishing on, whether it's gravel or silt, Nick will be able to explain all the ins and outs of what he uses and what he'd advise. He's got his little tanks and a little bit of gravel here just to give some examples. So yeah, cheers, Nick.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Cheers, mate. Nice to meet you.